First of all, we'd like to welcome everyone to the new time slot. All right, 10 to 12 Eastern, 7 to 9 Pacific. What's going on, everybody out there all across the land? Of course, you're tuned into the number one station on the net, Hotline Radio. This is the Keith Harris Show, and of course, hey, everybody out there. Of course, you are listening to the Keith Harris Show right here on the number one station on the net, Hotline Radio. And I am joined by a very special guest, actor and producer, Tom Tangen. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back after these messages. As a matter of fact, we're going to check out some amazing movie trailers. You don't want to miss this. We'll be right back. Keith Harris and Tom Tangen.
Thinking if this weren't actually happening to me, make a pretty good movie.
What would?
My dreams, my past mixed with my movies. She got a writer all alone in a cabin, haunted by his own past.
What are you afraid of, Mr. Torn?
Hello, everybody out there all across the land. Of course, you know you're tuned into the number one station on the net, Hotline Radio. This is the Keith Harris Show, GN. And of course, I am your guy, Keith Harris. Listen, I'd like to welcome everybody to another very exciting segment this evening. And of course, I have a special guest who has done more. You know, he's done more things than I could actually put into one introduction, as a matter of fact. And I'm usually known for making some pretty big introductions. All right. But listen, this guy's reputation and credentials just speak for themselves. He's been monumental in the industry, and I am very honored to have him on the show with me tonight. All right. So I'd like to give a very, very warm welcome and roll out the red carpet for the one and the only Tom Tangen. How you doing, Tom?
Hey, Keith. Thank you so much. It's great to be on your show.
Hey, look, man, it is a sincerely an honor to have you. You know, I've spoken to so many people, and kudos to everybody. But look, you have been doing big things since you came into this industry, and you are not slowing down any, as a matter of fact. And listen, you're winning awards, you're still putting out films, you're just doing stuff all over the place. But first, let me ask you how you doing.
Oh, I'm great. I've been, obviously very, very lucky and very blessed. And I love what I do, and I think, if you can find a job that you're happy with and you love doing, then it's not really a job.
Hey, look, you know what? You're right. And and you know, a lot of people would consider it lucky. You've put in so much hard work, over the years to be able to be so successful in something that you love doing. But I
was very lucky, when I first came to Hollywood. It was back in the 80s, and I hate to say that because it kind of dates me, but, I came into Hollywood at a very, very kind of a cool time, and I was very lucky to meet the right people and to, I guess, have the right look.
Yeah. You know what, and when you say that, I guess for like a lot of the youngsters out there, because look, I try not to date myself, but I'm not a young lad, you know what I mean? But
none of us are anymore.
I know, right? But hey, that's just a blessing of wiseness comes with the age. But bringing that up, you came, as you said, you came to Hollywood in the 80s. I gotta ask you, things must have been pretty exciting. I know it is now, but things must have really been off the chain in the 80s in Hollywood.
Well, they were. I was really lucky. I was actually living in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and I was actually going to college in River Falls, and there was this wonderful radio station called WCCO out of Minneapolis, St. Paul, and I was just listening one day, and we heard this audition notice. They were making this new film. They were looking for a couple actors to fill in the last couple roles, and it was going to be this famous singer who was going to be doing a semi-autobiographical movie about his life. And I didn't know, but they said, come dressed for the audition, sexy, fun, and wild.
Mm-hmm.
I was in college. I didn't know. So I went to the theater prop room, and I went through all the wardrobe and the wild costumes, and I put on some gold lame spandex and put on a big pimp hat with a feather and sprayed my hair green. Went to this audition. 6,000 people showed up to this open call. So I'm like, oh, my God, this is ridiculous. And I was really lucky because they picked two people, and I was one of them. And I got cast in a little unknown film back then called Purple Rain, which has become pretty famous since then.
Hey, hold up. I was going to say a little film called Purple Rain. It took I was like, wait a minute.
It was a little overstarted. Nobody knew really who Prince was outside of the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. Mm-hmm. And it really was a groundbreaking film for him. And the soundtrack, of course, was just, it went sky high. It went crazy. The songs on that soundtrack were, have become legendary now. And I was so lucky to get to watch him perform all those songs live, First Avenue, and be a part of that whole Purple Rain hysteria. And I was really young back then. I was like 18, didn't know really what it was I was getting into, and I didn't even know what the SAG card was, or a Taft-Hartley was, or any of these things that up here in Hollywood Mm-hmm. And I was just really, really lucky. And when we shot the first day, I was actually on the schedule for the first day to shoot our scene, and the whole day they didn't get to me. Well, I guess I go home now. I guess I didn't make the movie. They said, no, you got to come back the next day. And so not only did I get to be in the film, I got paid for 2 days instead of one. And it was the most amazing experience in my life. And it got me hooked. And that's what got me, into films. I was going to go to New York and be a stage actor, but Purple Rain grabbed me and brought me to Hollywood.
Hey, look, is that what does it? I know when I started out kind of in my little, when I did my little, on set background things, that kind of takes a hold of a lot of people, I noticed. And so that's what did it for you. Was it kind of being on set and then you just fell in love with the whole way things operated and you knew it was for you?
Oh, girl, I could lie and say yes, but I'm going to be honest and tell you, I was a stage actor. Okay. And I really wanted to go to Broadway, and I had studied, and I trained, and I had some amazing teachers, But when I got to that movie set, I saw how easy it was. I said, this is easy. I don't have to go, sweat and work my ass off on Broadway. I can just go make movies, and bam, 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 you're done in like a month. And I thought, this is cool because you're on the big screen, you last forever, whereas, on a play, it's, mm-hmm. There it is, and you're gone, So I'll be honest, it was because I realized that maybe I was young and naive and figured it would be an easy way to make money, right, and doing what you love. But it seemed like film acting just seemed easier to me than stage acting. And, of course, I learned a lot since because I realized that stage acting certainly helped me, with my film acting over time. And I was very lucky. One of my early acting coaches in stage was the great Jessica Tandy. From Driving Miss Daisy and Cocoon, and I didn't realize how famous she was, but boy, I certainly learned, right. And I was really lucky to have her as a mentor, as someone that could guide me, and her words of advice, after of course all the right. the method acting and the training was always be yourself. When you come into a role, take that role, create that role, but make sure it's you and it's your own role. Don't copy anybody else. Don't try to be like anybody else. Be yourself. And I think that was really great words of wisdom from Jessica Tandy to me. And it stuck. And I've been doing that, over 30 years now. Wow. And so I guess that's the truth. That's the real reason I went to Hollywood to make movies.
Wow. And you also, if I was reading correctly, you founded a actors theater.
Well, it was actually a coalition. It was the LA Actors Coalition.
Oh,
When I first moved to Hollywood, I thought, this really sucks. I'm from the Midwest. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know who to trust. Who's the best photographer? Who's the best casting director? Who's the best agent, manager, etc.? The list goes on and on. If you move here from anywhere other than California, how do you get the answers to these questions? So I thought, why not start a group of like-minded actors like myself, and invite producers and directors and writers and other folks into this group, form a networking coalition, talk to each other, find out, well, who are the good photographers, who are the good agents. And it really worked. It was phenomenal. We had an amazing run. We were first at CBS Studios. They opened up their doors to us.
wow.
And then Sony Studios, we needed a bigger space. They opened up to us. And so that little group of people grew to hundreds and hundreds. The coalition just went just crazy. Everybody wanted to join. Everybody wanted to be a part of it. We attached ourselves to several charities. We worked all the local film festivals as volunteers. And we really did learn how to network and how to work with each other and how to trust other actors. And it was a kind of a safe place for actors to go and be. And I'm so happy I was, the instigator of that. And
Hey, and sorry to stop you, but to do that, because you must have had the right formula, Tom. And the reason I say that is because look at the type of opportunities that opened up for you starting this coalition. First of all, you gave so many different people opportunities.
Oh yeah, and many of them went on to make great films,
Right.
whether it was acting or directing or producing. These folks got together in this coalition, and they made their own movies, and they kind of basically created their own careers and their own destinies.
Right.
And they weren't afraid to network, and that's the most important thing I tell young actors today. Don't be afraid to go out and meet people. Other actors aren't your competition; they're your colleagues. Those are the people that are going to help you and work with you, and they're going to be with you for all these years. I'm still working with actors and directors that I met 20 years ago. And I think that's the secret. Make these friendships and these bonds and work together and go up the ladder of success together.
Right. You know what? And I like to talk about, we always talk about lights and cameras and action, but one thing that I like to talk about, especially in a case like yours, is just how personable and, just how down to earth a personality like yours is. And do you think that contributed to to people being so receptive to your ideas and things like that? Because that means a lot in the business, I think.
Well, I think it probably did. I grew up in the Midwest. I'm from Wisconsin. And I had that Midwestern upbringing, and I really wasn't jaded. I didn't really have a lot of preconceived notions of what should be expected of me or what I should do when I got to Hollywood. So I really could listen to Jessica, and I just was going to be myself, and I was going to be honest and funny. And I was really lucky. I did meet some amazing people, and I started working right away. And it was kind of funny. I came out to Hollywood for a screen test right after Purple Rain. And it was, for another film that the producers of Purple Rain were going to do. And I went to Fox for the screen test. I was all nervous, didn't know what to do. I'd never been to a screen test before, and went ahead and did it, and it was funny and all that, but I didn't get the part. And I was like, oh no. But there was a guy in the corner who was watching all the screen tests that day, and he came up to me afterwards and said, hey kid, I liked your screen test. I'm doing a little film in Florida. I got a part for you. You want to do it? I was like, are you kidding? I don't care what the part is. Well, it was a film called Porky's. And, of course, we all know what happened to Porky's. It became another one of those Purple Rain.
I saw that, yes.
And I was so lucky. Bob Clark was in the corner over there, and he saw my screen test, and the rest was history. I just made 30 films in the first 3 years I was in Hollywood. So I was, unbelievably lucky. I had, I guess I had, God looking down on me, and I will say I had a great agent, too. I'm not going to kid you. I tell people, when you get to Hollywood, you got to have representation. You got to have a good agent or a manager. And Barbara Cameron was my first agent. I don't know if your listeners know who she is, but she was the mom of Kirk Cameron and Sandus Cameron. So I couldn't have had a better ages because she understood young people. Her kids were big stars, and she treated me like her own kid. And so I had some great guidance, and I had luck, and I guess I had a look. And I was nice. I was friendly. I was nice to everyone. I don't care if you were the biggest director in Hollywood or if you were the janitor on the set. You're all the same to me, and that's kind of the way I am today. And I think that everybody should be that way.
And and that's it. That is where that statement really started out for me, because so many people out there, and this is for like a lot of listeners. I'm glad to hear you say this, Tom, because so many people out there get that misconception, and it's true for certain people, that everything's such a rat race, in the Hollywood or the film scene, or that everybody needs to be, kind of grungy or cutthroat. That's not the case in every situation. There are nice people like yourself.
And it's funny. I think like-minded, nice people find each other. Mm-hmm. And I can't say enough how important it is to network, to meet people, to work with other actors, other people in your craft. If you want to be a producer, work with other producers. If you want to be a director, find other directors to mentor you. It's so important to know who's who in Hollywood and to be able to work with everybody and know what a key grip is. Know how to find your light. Know how to do a cold reading. All these things are so important. And so many people come out to Hollywood saying, "Oh, I'm great looking. I'm a star." Well, it's not that easy because, thousands of great-looking people move to Hollywood every day. That doesn't mean they're going to be a star. Most of them are bartendering or waitering.
That's right.
And
they still looking for work.
It takes more than good looks and a great body to make it in Hollywood today. And I'm a perfect example. I'm not a cookie cutter. I was a character actor when I came out here, and I'm a character actor now. And I think I'll be a character actor till I die. But the one good thing about that is I will work till the day I die. And for me, it's all about the craft, about the great parts. I may never become a millionaire, but I'll be a working actor, and I'll be proud of what I've done, and I'll always love what I do.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know what, I think something that in some cases, or a lot of cases, is just as important as the dollar bill, is just the respect that people have for you in this industry, and just how people have to look up to to all the progressions you've made. Even myself, going on to this part, me being a show host on the come up. Listen, you have talked to some of the biggest names in the industry. How is tell us a bit about how you started your own show and how you pushed forward. And I asked that question because me as an independent artist, or as an independent talk show artist, I know you went through that. You kind of had to put everything together yourself, and you had to surround yourself with the right people, and then reaching out to people. How was it for you doing that?
Well, it was funny. I never planned to be a talk show host or do interviews. That was never even anywhere near what I was going to do. And I just happened to be invited to one of those film festival red carpet events. And there was an actor there that I had always admired when I was a kid. His name was Billy Barty. He was a little person, and he was a very, very famous little person. He'd done all the great circus movies, and he was, he played Tom Thumb, and, all these great films. And I thought, I really want to meet this guy. So I went over to him and started talking to him. It was a tribute to him. I believe it was he'd been in business 75 years or something, and he was in his 90s. And I went over and talked to him, and he and I clicked. Well, Channel 7 News was supposed to come and do a big interview with him, and the crew was there, and everybody was waiting to do the big interview with Billy Barty, and the host didn't show up. And so the camera guy saw me talking to him, handed me the mic and said, "You're the host, go for it." And so it was really by default. I just started talking to Billy on camera for Channel 7, and the rest is history. I've done over 2,000 interviews since. Like you said, I was really blessed to meet some of the greatest celebrities in Hollywood. I interviewed people like Lauren Bacall and Jack Lemmon and Shirley MacLaine and Tony Curtis, and new stars like Russell Crowe and Halle Berry. And I just, I've been having so much fun just talking to these people like you do. Like you're having a cup of coffee with your friend.
Right.
And that's what we did. I sat down and just talked. And we talked about the great things in their lives, their hopes and their dreams and their charities and their families and why they got into the business. And it clicked. And every one of these people that I interviewed had a blast, and they wanted to talk again and again. And it was just, I guess it was something that just was meant to be.
Yeah.
And I don't do it very much anymore because I don't have time. I'm producing films now, and I'm still acting, and I've gotten very busy with some charitable organizations. I'm the president of the Hollywood Appreciation Society, which is taking up a lot of my time. It was founded in 1928 by Gary Cooper and Clara Ball. And so I have some big shoes to fill.
Indeed.
Gary Cooper was the first president in 1928, and I'm the new president in 2015. So I'm doing a lot of work with charities and with underprivileged kids and youth. And I'm also a board member of the Southern California Motion Picture Council, which is another amazing organization that promotes family values in film. And so I wish I had a couple more of me, so I could do more of the things I love. But I also believe in paying it forward, and I believe that I've been very blessed and lucky, and so now it's my turn to maybe give back. And so I love to work with these charity organizations and help with, if I can mentor some kid or give some youth some advice that helps them, get into the field they want to be in, then that's what I want to do.
Absolutely. And also, with the youth, have you found through some of, working with some of the youth that you find some children want to get into the film industry and just kind of follow the footsteps? Because I'm assuming they love that.
Well, they do. It's funny because I don't always meet kids that want to be actors. I meet kids that want to be directors, and they want to be producers, and they want to be set designers and costumers and makeup artists. And I love that because to make a film, you have to have all of those components. Every one of those people is so integral and important to making a great film. I worked on period pieces where if you didn't have great costumes and great makeup, there's not going to be a film. I worked on films like I just finished my film Mansion of Blood, a big horror film with Gary Busey.
Right.
And we had werewolves and mummies and vampires and zombies. And let me tell you, if you don't have great makeup and special effects, you're going to have a bad horror film.
Yeah.
And so it's so important to have these kids that want to, just be in the movie business. It doesn't mean you have to be an actor or, you don't have to be, in front of the camera. You can be behind the camera and still make the magic.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. Of course, I meet a lot of kids that want to be actors. And, I give them the same advice. I say, get someone to mentor you. Get into a good acting class or get a good acting coach. And don't just jump into any acting class or get any coach. Do your research, check them out, make sure that they're legitimate, that they've actually taught acting or that they've coached people. And once you find your niche, what you really want to do in this business, the sky's the limit. There's no stopping you. You can be anything you want as long as you want it bad enough.
Right. Now, you mentioned Mansion of Blood, and I tell you, listen, Mansion of Blood has been getting some amazing reviews. It's all I've heard about almost for the last month or two. And I was hearing about it before, but I know you all had an event not too long ago too. That must have been amazing.
We had the world premiere at the Egyptian Theater
right.
A few weeks back, and it was a pretty amazing event. We had planned for about 500 people, and over 700 showed up. We were over capacity. It was so cool to have all the actors show up and to have the press there, and we had some wonderful sponsors too. We had a huge red carpet. We had a big party afterwards. We actually had an awards gala before the screening, and we gave away some wonderful Golden Halo Awards and Golden Mask Awards. We presented Margaret Bryan, the legendary Oscar-winning actress, an award.
Right, because listen, I kept hearing about it, and it seemed like that was pretty much the event of 2015. Every time I looked around, I just kept seeing everybody, Mansion of Blood premiere. We're going to that. Is everybody going? I see you there. And
yeah, it was fun.
Right,
it was something.
And I saw it.
I can't thank everybody enough for making it so successful. And the cast was amazing. We had Gary Busey, we had Robert Picardo, we had Terry Moore, we had the legendary John Barrymore III, Mr. Carradine. The list of stars went on, and we created this little fun horror film, kind of a campy spoof,
right,
hoping that people would like it. And oh my gosh, they loved it. And it was so fun to actually watch it on a big screen with an audience and hear the laughter and it was very special. It was a great movie, and everyone loved it. We also launched that night a new jewelry line. We have the Mansion of Blood official line of the jewelry.
Wow.
For Bella Soleil jewelry.com. That's we were selling all kinds of great jewelry. So you could have seen it in the movie. You can buy it now to wear yourself. And so we really got the merchandising going as well. Posters and T-shirts and you name it. Mansion of Blood is the horror film of the year.
Right. And I was and as I watched some clips of it in the trailer, I sat back myself and I couldn't help but to laugh. I have to ask because a lot of actors and actresses I talk to, comedy is one of the hardest roles for people to pull off. Unless you're naturally funny, in a lot of cases, it's difficult to do. The people in Mansion of Blood, it seemed like they were all natural, it being funny. Is that the way they were all casted? Did was it like a needle in a haystack to find people who could do that? Or
I don't know. We did have several casting sessions, and we did really, have a tough time getting the entire cast.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those like kind of a dream cast. It all kind of together at the end. But it's one of those films too. When you do a horror film, people hear, "Oh, I don't want to be in a scary movie," and then you tell them, "Well, that's not really a horror film. It's kind of a campy spoof."
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, oh, that's different. They don't want to be in it then. And it really was. We made fun of the old universal horror genres. Mm-hmm. And I think people want to laugh. They don't always want to be scared. And if you are scared, you need a little laughter afterwards to kind of release the tension.
Right.
And so that's what Mansion of Blood did. Gary Busey's pretty scary anyway. And you put him in a horror film, you're going to expect some pretty scary things. So you need some laughter and some funny stuff to kind of, release that tension. And we had it. It really turned out beautiful, and everyone had a great time in the movie. All the cast members want to come back for the sequel, and we are now in pre-production to do the sequel. Actually, we're doing the sequel. I shouldn't even call it a sequel. It's going to be the prequel to Mansion of Blood.
Oh.
It's called Revenge of the Mind Curse, and you find out why the Mansion of Blood is haunted.
Oh.
And it's going to be fun because a lot of the cast is going to come back for the prequel, and they're going to see basically how they get to be where they are.
Hey, everybody, you're listening to the Keith Harris Show. I'm sitting here talking to my man, Tom Tangen. Why don't we show him the trailer for Mansion of Blood right now? Check it out, everybody.
Welcome to Mayhew Mansion.
There are dead bodies in those bedrooms. Well, then what's a few more?
I think I just saw my dead sister. What?
This party's gonna be good.
That can't be a good sign, can it?
It's been a very busy night. Get some rest.
Damn it! Throw one party and someone wrecks it for everyone else.
We're not supposed to open the door after dark.
Someone in this house is a murderer.
There's a maniac loose in here.
Did you drag my ass all the way back from perdition for money? Elijah! Elijah! Where is he?
This man has been shot, stabbed, and had his head kicked in.
You better figure out what happened.
Okay, we're gonna have to call the cops.
Funny.
Do you believe in true love?
Did you ever love me?
Maybe yes.
The guy that came here to meet tonight was murdered.
Don't be a coward.
We don't know who it is.
Well, I'm so happy to have you here.
It's interesting.
I think it was well-rounded. It was well-rounded because it was mysterious, it was funny, it still had the horror elements, and it was sexy at the same time.
Our vampires and our monsters are sexy. But I think that's something that you need to do. If you remember the original Dracula with Bela Lugosi,
Right.
Dracula was a heartthrob. All women went to see that movie back there in 1931 because they all wanted to listen to and see Bela Lugosi. And he really wasn't a frightening, scary vampire. He was a very sexy vampire, came into women's bedrooms at night. And I think that that's kind of what we wanted to capture. We wanted to capture that, the sexual element, and of course we do have some gratuitous sex, I'll be honest. We have Mindy Robinson who gets totally naked,
Wow.
We had to have some fun with it too. And I think you have to, with a horror film, you have to have topless girls and you have to have lots of blood. And that's what we did.
This is true. That I think that is the dark side of horror that most people love. Some people are, you know, they don't want to admit that in a crowd of people, but let's be honest, at home that's what they're watching.
Well, I have to tell you, Mindy Robinson called me up before the premiere, and she was a little nervous. She was thinking about bringing her boyfriend, and she didn't know, if she looked too bloody on the screen or whatever.
Right.
And she had done a bunch of films since, and she's become, quite famous.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to her, look, did you ever see Halloween?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, do you remember Jamie Lee Curtis? She was a nobody until she took her top off in that movie, and look where she is now. She became a huge megastar. I said, if you've got a great body, my God, show it off. God gave you that body. I mean, if I had one, I'd show it off, but I don't.
Right.
So I told Mindy, come to the movie, you're going to love the way you look, and people are going to love you. And she showed up, and she loved it. And she looked great in the film.
Wow. Yeah. There's
a lot of actors that are afraid to do nudity, and I understand that.
Yeah.
It's a personal choice, and it's, how you feel about it. But, years ago I did a film where I got cast to do a nude scene. It was really funny because I'm the last person you'd ever want to see naked. But it was a scene called Saint Elsewhere, and I played a bum. And the whole scene was I go to the hospital, and the ending of the movie is I'm walking down the hallway with one of those gowns on that's open in the back, and it's really open, and there's my nude scene, So it just depends upon, you as an individual and how you feel about nudity, and if you want to do it, do it. If you got a great body, I would show it off. Because when you're 75 or 80, you're going to look back and say, damn, I thought I did that. I was hot.
You know what, Tom? Look, I bet that scene was fun for you because, listen, I guess if they catch you, if they catch you with the news scene from the front, then you can kind of give the facial expression. You kind of know what people are saying about you. But when it's behind your back, you just don't know how anybody's acting, right?
Trust me, I know exactly what they were all thinking. They were laughing their asses off because that's what they were seeing. And I mean, I hope to God that someday they don't find that scene and pull it up on some interview, because I know it's out there somewhere in TV land. They have seen somewhere, and someone's going to pull it up someday to embarrass me.
Oh man!
But it's not going to embarrass me, because it's who I was at the time, and I was young, and I have to talk about it now, don't I?
And it's fun. At the end of the day, it's fun, and I mean, it's acting.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's one of those things where, I think that I've done a lot of films. I've done, G-rated family films. I've done horror films now, dramas, comedies, science fiction, documentaries.
Oh man, yeah.
It just depends upon the film, and it depends upon
Right.
Obviously, there are certain films you need to have the nudity in. Other films, no.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those controversies that's been around Hollywood since the beginning of film. Should I take my clothes off or not? And it's a difference between porn and art.
Of course.
And I think that's where you have to draw the line. Is this pornography or is it art?
Right.
And I had a wonderful actress in the film. Her name was Carla Lemley. Mm-hmm. She was in my horror film. She was 103 years old when she did the film.
I saw her. Yeah.
One of the last of the living silent film stars. Mm-hmm. And she had done nude photos back in the 40s. And she said to me, she goes, "I'm glad I did those nude pictures. I was really great looking back then. Yeah. I'm glad I did it because now I have it to look at when I'm 100." And I really thought about it, and I thought, she's right. She said it wasn't nudity, it wasn't dirty, it was art.
This is true.
And
she put it in. She put it in a great perspective. Did. Yeah. And
she survived. She did the nudity when she was, very young, and she survived to be 100. She passed away last year at, I believe, 104 and a half.
Wow.
And what a gal, and she was such a free thinker, and if Carla could do nudity, anybody can do it.
There you go. Now, okay, we'll go. Let's talk about some of these awards, some of these wins. 5 wins and 2 nominations for Cotton. Wow.
Yeah, we've been amazingly lucky with Cotton. We just won Best Film at the San Tropez International Film Festival. Mm-hmm. And it's such an honor to be recognized. Cotton's a great film starring Gary Cole. Mm-hmm. And I produced the film, and I have a little part in it. I play a preacher. Mm-hmm. But it's about a faith healer. It's a wonderful story about a wonderful young kid who was given the gift of God to touch and to heal people. Mm-hmm. And the only problem is he doesn't want the gift. It's too big of a responsibility. It's too much for him to handle. And most people would love to have the gift to heal someone,
right?
Until you realize the responsibility that comes with it. And it's a wonderful drama. It's been winning accolades all over the world.
Wow.
We just did the Bollywood Film Festival. We did it in Quebec. We just finished the Hollywood Sunset Film Festival, the Hollywood Reels Film Festival, and it's winning every festival. So we're so happy and so blessed and so pleased that the audience are liking it, the judges love it, and we're hoping that it'll basically go all over the world and everyone will get to see it.
Well, yeah, you're on your way if you're reaching out to Bollywood.
Yeah, it's everywhere, it really is. And like Mansion of Blood also, we have distribution on that film with Tomcat Films, and that'll be all over the world now as well.
Okay.
My other film, The Visitor from Planet Omicron, also has distribution.
Right.
It's a great little science fiction film if you get a chance to see it, starring Sally Kirkland, who's a wonderful Oscar-nominated actress.
Of course.
She's great in my little sci-fi movie.
Wow.
And so we're just rolling along and just hoping to keep making great films, and that should be the goal. Is just to keep making films that people like and they want to go see and kind of leave your mark. Let people know that you cared and you wanted to tell a story that has some meaning and some hope. And I love the fact that I can put some of these young actors together with these great legends. When I talk to these young actors, one of the things I tell them, I don't care if you have to be an extra on a movie set. If you get a chance to be on a set with a great actor or a great legend, just be on that set because you can learn so much by watching them and listening to them. I did a film a few years ago with Julia Roberts. I had a very small part. It was called Aaron Brockovich.
Yeah,
and
amazing movie.
I was so blessed to be able to be cast into that movie. I played Ned. I was a paralegal. And I was lucky enough to have a scene with Julia Roberts.
Right.
And at the time, I didn't have a name. I was just paralegal number one. You know how they give you, if you're just a day player or a bit player, they don't really give you a name.
Right.
And Julia Roberts, I have to tell you, is one of the most amazing talents in the world. So versatile and so beautiful and so kind-hearted. We had this scene where she had to walk up to the copy machine and hand me some papers. And she stopped in the middle of the scene and said to the director, I can't just walk up to him. I have to call him something. I have to give him a name. He has to have a name.
Wow.
I'm going to call him Ned. And so she gave me a name in this movie in the middle of this multi-million-dollar shooting schedule. Stopped production to make sure I got a name, a character's name in the film. Which, to me was huge. Because now I really have a part in this film.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of person she was. And that's what I like doing now for other actors. I love giving them a part. Even if they're an extra, they're going to have a name in the movie. They're going to have something. And it's really important. Everybody needs to be validated. They all need to feel that, what they're doing is worthwhile. And if you pick this career, if you picked it, or decide to become an actor, it's a tough, hard career. And you really have to love it. And you have to love acting more than anything in the world to really, really be successful. And if you do, then there's no stopping you, as long as you don't give up.
Right.
There really is a place for everybody if you really try hard enough and you work and you persevere and you network. You'll be able to make it in this business. It may not necessarily be what you started out to do. I've met a lot of actors who came to this town and now are great directors and writers and producers. So don't give up the business just if you can't find that acting niche. There's so many other great parts.
Indeed. And, kind of, echoing what you said, what you just spoke about, with giving, even people who are on an entry level into the film industry, when you put them next to these greats, it really gives an extraordinary feeling. And, I have a memorable moment like that as well. That I always enjoy speaking about this because this has it really made a big difference to me in my life. In the movie Skulls, I had a part where I was with Paul Walker, God rest his soul. But I had a part in Skulls where I was, talking with Paul Walker. And so every time I go back and look at that scene, even before he passed away, every time I would go back and look at that scene, because as big as he came, that was like early in his career years ago.
Yeah.
And so every time I would be able to look at that scene and just see myself sitting there with Paul Walker at the table talking to him, it was always amazing to me because I was just like, wow, I got to sit next to, next to someone so great in my eyes. And so and that is a feeling that has stuck with me. Every time I watch a film that he's in, I just always remember him and talking to him and just his attitude and how nice and down to earth he was. So I know what you're saying when you put, people that are new into the industry next to other people and giving them that opportunity to feel like they're a part of something. That's a big deal, Tom.
Oh, yeah. I tell people, especially young actors, never turn down a role. Mm-hmm. I interviewed the great Lynn Redgrave once, and one of the questions I asked her was, what's your advice to a young actor trying to break into the business? And she said just that, never, ever turn down a role because you never know where that role might lead. You never know where that next director or that next producer or that next person will hire you just by seeing you in that role. Mm-hmm. And I related to her because when I first came to Hollywood, I had a lot of little parts. Mm-hmm. But, oh, my gosh, they were great big movies, Right. And they turned into these cult classics like Back to the Future and Teen Wolf and Secret Admirer and Real Genius and Porky's. And now looking back, going, oh, my gosh, thank God I didn't turn down those roles. Thank God I took those roles.
Yeah.
And because now I'm a part of history and I have that memory to carry on forever. And it motivates and it's inspirational to other people to know that, any little film can turn into a mega hit and a cult classic, and you never know what that film's going to be. Mm-hmm.
Now,
and so just don't give up. That's the one thing. Don't give up, and just keep working at your craft and keep making movies. And I tell people, too, if you can't get into a film, make your own. Go get a camera. Get someone to write a script for you. Write your own script. Start shooting shorts. Mm-hmm. Through the internet. My gosh, there's so many of these great new web series, webisodes.
Right.
I'm just amazed at the technology, and I love some of the stuff. I'm actually going to be ending it. I'm doing one recently. I'm coming up to do a webisode that I've never done one before. And so I'm even trying to get on the internet bandwagon. I'm a little technically, behind the times. There's so much with Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all this. I was going to call it crap, but it's not. All this wonderful technology. Right. But there's so much for the young actor nowadays that we didn't have. When I first started out, we didn't have any of that.
That's
we
right.
didn't have cell phones. We had pagers. Mm-hmm. So, take advantage of the technology and how many great opportunities there are now for young actors and directors and writers to get in there and get their voice heard and get their stories told.
Yeah. Do you think the web? The web nowadays, as you say, it's huge. A lot of people are doing it. I'm trying to do it. Everybody's trying to do a webisode. Yeah. Do you think that nowadays that is, well, it'll never take over the film industry, but do you think nowadays that is almost like the new beginning of where films were years ago?
Well, I've discussed this with several people, and when television first came in, there was thought, oh my gosh, it's going to be the end of the movies. Mm-hmm. Well, it wasn't. Right. But television found an audience, and they found a great niche. Now the internet also, I think, will find its audience and find a great niche. It's here for good, and it'll actually be like TV. It'll never, ever take over the movies. Nothing will take over the movies, but it'll be a great addition too. And that's what I love, the fact that there's so many great outlets now. There's so many places that need content. Mm-hmm. People are screaming, I want more. And now we can give them more. And I love the fact that it's all interactive.
Right. Now, when can we look for possibly, if you know the answer, can we look for Mansion of Blood to come out on DVD or maybe hit the theaters?
Well, we will find out this month. The distributors we spoke to a couple days ago, and they're going to obviously give us a launch date, and they're going to give us, all the information, where it's going to be available. So we're kind of excited about it. It's going to be a big launch. Mm-hmm. I don't have the exact date yet, but we will announce it, and I'll let you know first. So you can announce it on your show.
Hey.
But it's going to be big, and I'm so excited that so many people like it, and I'm hoping it becomes a classic like some of the other films I've been in, because that's what you want. You want everyone to keep watching. Every generation, it'll find a new audience.
Right.
And hopefully with our sequel and prequel, we can form a franchise and keep making Mansion of Blood movies. If people keep coming and laughing and watching them, we'll keep making them.
Listen.
But like I said, I've got my hand in some other great films too, and so you'll see some great comedies and some great dramas coming up for me in the next year. Okay. Producing 2 other films, including the prequel to Mansion of Blood. So I've got a lot on my plate, and I'm very excited.
Are you able to give a leak on the titles or anything on those films, or? I
can give one little leak that we're in negotiation to do a wonderful screenplay that was written by Joe Bologna, who is an Oscar-nominated screenwriter, and it's going to be starring Lainie Kazan and then Joe's wonderful wife, Renee Taylor. You guys remember Renee from The Nanny?
Yeah.
She's just a phenomenal actress, and it's called Bermuda Avenue Triangle. And it was a big hit on stage, and it's played all over the world as a stage play. And now we're going to bring it to the masses and make it into a wonderful movie. Wow. So we're really excited. We have some big stars attached, and we have some surprises in store. It's going to be one of those little wonderful independent comedies that I think is going to just take off. And we have the right team, and we have the right chemistry. It's going to be directed by Gabriel Bologna, who is Joe Bologna's son, who's an amazing director. So I'm excited about it.
I got to ask this question. Because you're a master of a few different crafts. What's your favorite love? Is it the producing, or is it the acting, or which one is it for you?
Well, I came out here to Hollywood, and I said, I'm going to be an actor. And, of course, I had my wonderful, time as an actor, as a talk show host. I've done everything from, philanthropy, TV, radio. But you know what I really love best is producing. I love the fact that I can create the magic. I can find a wonderful story and turn it into something that everyone gets to see from start to finish. I love the whole process of the screenwriting, the pre-production, the production, the post-production, the editing, the casting. I love being on the set. I love the whole aspect of creating this wonderful masterpiece. And so I guess I have to say producing is my first love now.
Well, you have definitely been creating. You have been producing a lot, or on a lot of projects. Like you, I said to myself,
yeah, I've been very lucky.
I said, wow. All right. Now, are there any events before you get ready to get out of here? What are there any upcoming events or film festivals that everybody should look out for? Any campaigns that you like everybody to get involved with, or?
Well, as soon as we announce the Mansion of Blood release date, we'd love to have everyone go see it, of course. That's going to be the big year. Everyone goes to see Mansion of Blood.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to help to determine how much money we have to make the prequel. So, and I'd like to make the prequel even bigger with bigger stars.
Right.
And that's the focus right now. And like I said, we have the wonderful jewelry line. It's www.bellasoleilJewelry.com, where you can go and buy all this wonderful red carpet jewelry. We're now partnering up with great celebrities. Each one of our celebrities will have their own red carpet line of jewelry. And so it's going to be huge. So when you go to the movies and you see someone wearing a piece of jewelry, you'll actually be able to go home and buy that jewelry and wear it yourself on your own red carpet. And so we're excited about the jewelry line. And we're just excited about, getting involved with charities. I really love the fact that both the Southern California Motion Picture Council and the Hollywood Appreciation Society are charity-based organizations that have been around since the 1920s. And we're going to carry on that tradition and carry the torch and keep, promoting wonderful family films and promoting charities and philanthropy throughout Hollywood. Right. And I think that's really important to pay it forward and to go ahead and give back because we've been so blessed.
Absolutely. Well, I tell you what, Tom. Listen, you've been doing big things. You're making history, like you said before. You are really in you're walking in the shoes of history, as a matter of fact, and you're doing an amazing job. And myself and on behalf of everybody else, we just want to congratulate you on all your success and wish you so much more in the future.
Well, thank you. You've been great, and I love talking to you. I love your show, and I hope you keep rocking and rolling. And getting great interviews like this. And I'm, like I said, I wish you were here right now. I'd take you out and we'd have coffee. And, you know, it's one of those things where I know you're a little farther away than I am, but whenever you're in Hollywood, you're always welcome here.
Hey, you know what? I thank you, Tom, and I tell you what, I'm definitely going to follow in your footsteps. I'm gonna stay ambitious. I'm gonna keep pushing forward and giving my best at all times. I'll actually be relocating to California in the next few months, so I'm coming out.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm coming out there to do a lot of great work and have a extremely good time. So we would definitely sit down and have lunch and even take.
Let's do some live shows at some of these red carpets and some of these big events. We'll get you in there and you'll just interview all the great celebrities.
Hey, let's make it happen. Look, Keith Harris, your guy Keith Harris. That's my motto.
No, we will bring your audience to a whole new level. It'll be so much fun for them to hear you coming directly from Hollywood.
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, Tom, it's been amazing. You know, you've always got a home here on the show.
Thank you.
We've got your support 1,000%. And also, I want everybody out there to know that you will be able to keep up with Tom Tangen and all the events, all the premieres, as well, just everything that he has going on, him and his whole staff have going on. You can keep up with it on our social media site, Keith Harris Show page, the Keith Harris Show. Also, Tom, let everybody know about the social media handles where they can check you guys out.
Oh my goodness, yes, I'm on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and I'm on all of them. Just put my name in, Tom Tangen, you'll find me. I'm everywhere. I'm trying to keep up with the social media. Also, I've got a webpage. It's www.tomtangen.com. You can get me in all my, social networking outlets there too. And of course, go to mansionofblood.com and take a look at the trailer and take a look at the behind the scenes of the making of Mansion of Blood. And we'll be announcing it very shortly. Different platforms and where you can go see it. And it's going to be frightening you and making you laugh all over the world.
Indeed, it is. Some of them see-through ghosts on there. I said, "Wow!" And the monsters.
And you go see Mindy Robinson naked. For that alone.
Hey, I know that's right. I know. I forgot that. I'm not. I guess I won't say the gentleman she's dating. I know he's like, "Oh wow, lucky fellow," right?
Yeah, she's a wonderful girl. She's beautiful, talented, and wow, what a great body.
Absolutely. All right, listen, Tom, I'm gonna let you go. Listen, enjoy your evening. We will be talking to you soon.
Awesome.
Before we get ready to get out of here, everybody out there all across the land, in case you tuned in late, which as I always say, you should have been here from the beginning, you can catch this full conversation between the great Tom Tangen and I on social media for your playback purposes. So I suggest you do that. Some great information, everything you want to know, catch up with us. Tom, it's been a blessing talking to you, and we'll be talking to you soon, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too. Everybody out there all across the land, that was Tom Tangen. I tell you what, I really, really enjoyed that conversation. I keep using the term monumental for a reason, because he really is monumental. He's been doing big things, and he continues. So, again, we congratulate him on all the wonderful work he's doing in the industry, as well as, his success in caring about people and contributing to the charities. That's always a big deal, to give back. When you've been blessed in this industry such as he has, it means a lot to let people know how much you appreciate your situation and you never take anything for granted. So again, we congratulate him on all of that success. All right. Hey, what's going on, everybody out there? You are listening to the Keith Harris Show. Don't you go anywhere, because we will be right back. In the meantime, let's check out the trailer for Book of Choices by Chandra Gerson. Big shouts out to Chandra and her whole cast and crew.
It's morning. You were supposed to be home last night.
Do you think there's someone else?
Don't you dare walk away from me and go hide in your office with your precious books.
I looked up to you, and you threw it back in my face in the worst possible way!
Now what?
Truth be told, I was always jealous of you. I guess we've always just looked at each other through
green-colored glasses.
We need to talk.
Why do you hate me so much?
Well, I've known you a long time, Carl. And you're a good man.
Have you ever come to a point in your life where you're kind of at a crossroads? You look back in your life and you don't really like what you see?
As her life flashes before her, she'll find herself giving in to what she should have been all along.
Damn it, Carl! Let me in!
You have 24 hours to clean out your desk. You're fired.
Let's talk about everything and anything, and now it's like he can't even stand to look at me.
You remember Tony, don't you? The man's club you stole, as well as his sister's life.
A man's home doesn't define who he is. All it says is what he is, how much he has. Sometimes even that's a lie.
Now, I hope Carl realizes just how lucky he is to have such a fantastic woman such as yourself.
I don't know what I want anymore. Well, there's your problem. How can you make a decision if you don't even know what you want?
You need to redefine yourself.
First of all, we'd like to welcome everyone to the new time slot. All right, 10 to 12 Eastern, 7 to 9 Pacific. What's going on, everybody out there all across the land? Of course, you're tuned into the number one station on the net, Hotline Radio. This is the Keith Harris Show, and of course,